Hello everyone, this is Thomas and I welcome you to Exploit Tutorial once again. Exploit Tutorial Learning Made Easy. Today we are going to analyze a problem on parallelogram law and the triangle law with the cosine rule and the sine rule. So with this problem, the question says, two forces act on the screw eye. If F1 equals 400 kilonewton and F2 equal to 600 kilonewton, determine the angle theta between them so that the resultant force has a magnitude of Fr equals 800 kilonewton. So this is the diagram which has been given to us to analyze the problem with. So over here, we are going to use the parallelogram law to analyze this particular problem. Now we have two forces, F1 and F2, and the angle between these two forces is theta. So we need to draw out our forces, which is F1. So we can quickly draw the parallelogram out of this. So we have F1, then we have our F2 with an angle theta line in between. Now we know that from parallelogram law, it states that when two forces are said that they have an angle between them, and in order for us to find the resultant of these two forces, the resultant is the diagonal of this parallelogram. When these two forces forms a parallelogram and we have to find the resultant is the diagonal of the parallelogram. So this is the diagonal, that's our FR. So over here we have our F1 here. To form the parallelogram, we can trace out this part of the parallelogram to form our F1 here as well, because we know that parallelogram have two equal sides. So if this one is F1, this side too can also be F1. Very good. Now F1 equals was given to be 400 kilonewton. F2 was given to be 600 kilonewton. And our FR was given to be 800 kilonewton. Now, what does the cosine rule state? The cosine rule says that if we find the resultant square, it is equal to F1 squared plus F2 squared minus 2F1 F2 cos, if this side is 5, cos 5. What cos alpha, rather not 5, cos alpha. Why alpha? Because if you are using the cosine rule, since this is the resultant, the angle here will be the angle opposite to the resultant. So the angle opposite to the resultant is what? Alpha. Please, are you with me? Good. Now let's see something. When we add alpha and theta, when we add theta and alpha, it will give us 180 degrees. One of the properties of a parallelogram, that base angles sum up to 180 degrees. So theta plus alpha equal to 180 degrees. So with this formula, we can calculate for the alpha and put it here to get our theta, because the question demanded of us to calculate for theta and not alpha. But there is another formula for the cosine rule, of which this side we will change the negative to positive. And once we change the negative to positive, it will rather take theta. The angle here will be theta. So it's either you are using this one, or you can use Fr squared equal to F1 squared plus F2 squared plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. So when you are using the plus, That means you use the angle lying between the two forces. But if you are to use minus, then that means you use the angle opposite to the resultant force. Please, I hope you understand that. Very good. So we can either decide to use this formula or we use this formula. Whichever way, we will get the same answer. So let's analyze with the first formula, and possibly you can also try with the second formula. With the second formula. Good. So here we have our FR to be 800 kilo. Kilo is times 10 to the power 3 neatly squared equal to F1, which is 400 times 10 to the power 3 squared, plus we have our F2, which is 600 times 10 to the power 3 also squared, minus 2 times 400 times 10 to the power 3 multiplying 600 times 10 to the power 3 cos alpha. Now I am just doing substitution, so don't be confused with that. We are just substituting the values into our equation. Now 800 times 10 to the power 3 squared will give us 6.4 times 10 to the power 11. Then here too we have 1.6 times 10 to the power 11. Over here too we have plus 3.6 times 10 to the power 11 minus 4.8 times 10 to the power 11 cos alpha, cos alpha, cos alpha. So let's follow suit. Let's follow suit. Don't be lost at all. Don't be lost at all. Very good. Now, after simplifying this, we proceed with further simplification. So we do further simplification of our equation. Now, with further simplification, over here we can move this part of the equation, the part with the cos, to the other side and take this one to the other side. So we have 4.8 times 10 to the power 11 cos alpha equal to 1.6 times 10 to the power 11 plus 3.6 times 10 to the power 11 minus, because we move this one to the other side, it will become minus 6.4 times 10 to the power 11. Very good. So simplifying further, we'll get 4.8 times 10 to the power 11 cos alpha equals negative 1.2 times 10 to the power 11. Now, our focus is on the alpha, right? So we divide this side by 4.8 times 10 to the power 11. We divide this side too by 4.8 times 10 to the power 11. This one takes off this. 10 to the power 11 can take off 10 to the power 11. We take cos alpha to be equal to. So calculating for this, negative 1.2 divided by 4.8, we'll get negative 0.25. Very good. Now we want alpha. So alpha will be equal to cos inverse of negative 0.25. And finally, our alpha will be calculated and we'll be having 104.478 degrees. 104.478 degrees. But we are not looking for alpha, but rather we are looking for theta. So we come back to this particular formula, which is theta plus alpha equal to 180 degrees. So theta will be equal to 180 minus our alpha, which is 104.478 degrees. So therefore theta will be equal to 75.522 degrees. So therefore, theta will be equal to 75.522 degrees. So this brings us to the end of our problem. Thank you very much for joining us once again, and hope to see you in our next video.